All right, the recording has started. So thank you everyone for joining today's session. We will begin shortly. My name is Laura Foley. I'm the Client Account Manager here at Nordic ERP. As a reminder, please use the chat feature to ask any questions throughout the presentation, and we will address them during and after the presentation. Next slide, please. As many of you know, Nordic Consulting acquired Bales & Associates over 2 years ago. We continued and will continue to do the great Infor ERP work we're known for, which will now be done under the Nordic brand moving forward. Jamie and the team are excited about how this change will positively impact our customers who can benefit from the broad set of services Nordic has to offer. Next.
Let's see, my internet button doesn't want to work. Let's see.
And I'll hand it over to you, Cynthia. And you are on mute.
Thank you, Laura. I'm sorry. Hello, everyone. My name is Cynthia Bryant, and I am an analyst for supply chain at Nordic. I have over 20 years experience with Infor Lawson. Just a couple things about me. I am FSM certified. I'm a recent GG grandmother to a 1-year-old, and bowling is still my favorite sport. So welcome. I have to start this over. As a disclaimer, we do have to present our disclaimer that this material is in reference to Infor V11. This presentation is for informational purposes only. We just want to provide you with considerations as you make the best decision for your organization. Reliance on the information presented without consultation is at your own risk. We highly recommend that you contact Nordic to discuss how solutions, can be tailored specific to your needs. Today, we will talk about inventory replenishment using MSCM. For the agenda, we're going to talk about the overview of inventory replenishment using MSCM, and we're going to talk about setup, processing, error review and reporting. We're going to have a demonstration and talk about some considerations. Okay, so we're going to start with inventory replenishment using MSCM overview. So using a handheld device, you can select orders to order for your perpetual inventory using the new replenishment process in MSCM. The handheld inventory replenishment allows you to review and spot check your inventory locations to check and see if there are items that need to be ordered right away. This process creates a requisition that goes into FSM. This is not the normal daily inventory replenishment that you do. This is different. This is new. So let's say that you've already ran your inventory replenishment earlier in the day, and now it's later in the day, and there's some items that you ran low on that you want to get ordered as quickly as possible. This is when you could take your handheld and do spot checks in your perpetual locations to order those specific items. So basically, when you're using the inventory replenishment using MSCM, you enter the quantity requested on the handheld. When you hit send, it goes to the MSCM server, and then it goes to FSM to create a requisition. So from the handheld all the way to FSM to create a requisition. So inventory replenishment, you continue with the standard requisition to purchase orders. So you, from your handheld, you create the requisition, it creates a PO, and it's issued and released to the vendor. So it goes right into managed purchase requests, and then a PO is created. So for inventory replenishment using MSCM, this process will always create a requisition. It does not use the replenishment information at the item location. You could determine what needs to be ordered. So don't go start changing your replenishment information that you run daily. This is one that creates a requisition always from the handheld. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about inventory replenishment using MSCM, the setup. What is required to use inventory replenishment on the handheld. So in MSCM, you have to have a user account set up from the portal, and it must be associated with some of these groups that include the new inventory replenishment roles. So the inventory replenishment configuration and inventory replenishment quantity on hand configuration, that's really administrative, but the handheld, the counts, and the resend is what the normal inventory folks would use. Under inventory replenishment and MSCM, part of the configuration, you have a general tab, a display quantity on order tab, and a display minimum order quantity. So you have to fill out which one you want, the first item default, and you can also do order out of item display and handheld sort by bin sequence. This configuration, whatever you decide here, it will apply to all of your companies. Okay, now when we talk about display quantity on order, this configuration can be done by company, and you can make a decision to check inherent box to apply settings from above. So whatever you have here, when you select the checkbox, when you add new companies, it'll use the same information. Again, under configuration, you have a display minimum order. Again, it's by company, and you can use the inherit so that you can basically copy down whatever in the main one to your other companies. Now, if you did not want to do that, you could, uncheck inherit, and then you would have to manually enter what settings you would like. So for inventory replenishment setup, you also have to have a requesting location, and the requesting location must be set up for each perpetual inventory location that you want to use the handheld for. So the requesting location has to equal the inventory location. The from company and from location has to equal the perpetual inventory location. The requesting location issue account has to also equal the perpetual inventory location general ledger balance sheet. So the two things that are really required is you have to have a requester and a requesting location. But the output, again, from MSCM using the handheld will be a requisition, always. So here's just a screenshot of a requesting location showing you the requesting location, the from company information, and issue account. Next, we're going to talk about inventory replenishment using MSCM processing. So from your handheld, this is what the user would do when replenishing using the handheld. So from your handheld, you would click mobile par and cycle counting. Then you would click inventory replenishment from the menu. Now you have to select which location, which perpetual location you would like to order from. So for this example, we're using the stores, then you would click OK. Once you click OK, you would double click to start the inventory replenishment process. You would double click right here to start the process of ordering your items. So based on your configuration, you will either see the items first or blank screen first. For us, we picked to show the items first. So to order, you would enter in the item, the requested quantity, and you would hit next. Or I'm sure a lot of you have handhelds. You would just, click the handheld towards the item, bring it up, put the quantity in, and hit next. And you will repeat this process until you have all the items that you want to order. So you would click done if you're finished ordering, or if you want to search for more items, you could also click the waffle here that's on the handheld, and you will see items in the list. But you could also right here search for certain items. So if you know what certain items that you want to order, you could also enter your item information right here and search for them. So you can either search one by one using this screen, or you can do search for an item, or you can see the list of items in that perpetual location. So again, once you have ordered all the items that you want to order for this requisition, you would click done. Once you click done, you will see from your perpetual location how many items are in the location, and over to the left, how many items you actually ordered. So this is telling you that you ordered 5 out of the number of items in the inventory location. Now you have a send button that's available to you, this little arrow. Once you click send, this is going to send it over to MSCM and then over to FSM. Again, you would click send to send to MSCM, the button here. Or if you say, hey, I need a few more things, you could just double click the storeroom location again, and you can start the process over. And you could continue to do that until you're really, really done. But as you do that, this number will go up if you start to order more items. But for this example, we're done, and we're going to click send to send it over to MSCM. You will see once you have sent the items into MSCM, you will get a message that says data was successfully sent to the server, and you see now it's back to 0 because that order is gone. So now we can talk a little bit about some of the reports, because it's very important that you always review the replenishment report, because you want to make sure that the order process and you don't have any errors. So you should always review to make sure the order process. So you would go to PAR and cycle counting and the inventory replenishment reports. And you can certainly, you put in your company, you have to put in your inventory location and put the date in. And then you would hit search. So this report is showing that we had 2 orders go over and we received upload errors on both of them. And when you click on view details, this is the information that you would get. And it actually tells you the error. Each is not valid for buying. Role is not valid for buying. Now you would fix these errors, but unfortunately, there's not a resend button. You just have the upload error. So for this example, once you fix those items, you would have to go back and order them again. But the good thing is Infor recognized this as a bug, and they have a CU coming out in October 2023 where the resend button will be available. So not only will you have the status of upload error, once you fix the items, you'll be able to resend, which is great. So now I'm going to go into the handheld to do a quick demonstration. Can everyone still see my screen with the handheld?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, perfect. Yes.
So once you log in, you would choose mobile PAR and cycle counting. You would click the 3 lines and then you would see here's inventory replenishment. So this is the add button, because there might be various locations that you have set up. So you would choose the one you want. So here's the replenishment for stores. Double click. And so now you can start entering in a quantity that you want to order for the item. And it goes to the next one. So you could this will be in order by your perpetual location, or you can select the arrows here and you can search for items, or you can scroll up and down if you know where the item is located to find it, or you can enter the item in here. Too many. And so you would continue to do that. You would either search for items. You can use the scroll if you know where they are, or you can go line, item by item. I didn't mean to go back out yet. You can go item by item. Next, you just keep hitting next as you order items. So you can either, again, you can do item by item. You can do the scroll up and down, or you can search. Now, when you are done ordering all your items, this is when you would hit the done. And the system will tell you how many items you ordered. And you have this send button available now, where you would click send. And it tells you that data was successfully sent to the server. I meant to have FSM up. Give me 1 second. I want to just show you MSCM real quick. I thought I had it up. Drop. Let me just bring it back up real quick.
And Cynthia, while you're doing that, Casey and I have been able to answer questions in the chat. We can go over them at the end, but if anyone wants to glance over, you are using an Android. I think it's called Android Studio Emulator for all of our consultants. That way we always have access to be able to show you guys MSCM. Unfortunately, we can't scan using it, which seems to be a significant challenge. So those of you, I know Melissa asked about scanning. We wish we could. You'll be able to with your devices, though.
Just bringing up MSCM real quick. Sorry about that. So now, once you are done with your handheld, this is when you would go in and you would look up, you can look at the report. So I just went into, I'm in mobile supply chain under inventory replenishment. So under part and cycle counting, inventory replenishment reports. And this is where you would put the company in and the location. And it was today's that is when we ran the report. I would just hit search. So you can see I ran a couple for today. One, we have an upload complete. And it shows you all the errors went, so there's no issue with this one. And then this one, there was an upload error. Same thing, each is not valid for buying. So it's telling you what the error is so that you could fix it.
Hello. No.
Yes, you really can fix it. Unfortunately, the resend button isn't available until October.
So that was our demonstration for MSCM, inventory replenishment using MSCM. So some considerations are always be current with WebView or Chrome. It depends on your Android operating system. You must be on the current MSCM handheld version. The reason why we were getting those errors is right here. The default transaction unit measure at the item location is the only unit of measure used by MSCM inventory replenishment. There is a CU 2023-07 for this issue. But right now, when you order using the handheld, it's going to only use the default transaction unit of measure. So regardless of how you have to set, if it's going to look for this default transaction unit of measure to create the requisition for to go into FSM. If you have the default transaction unit of measure at the item level set to not valid for buying, that's when you get the upload error.
I know it's time, but it's not
So
time.
Okay,
Go
Nordic
ahead and
has,
continue.
okay, Nordic has submitted an enhancement ER 101-1446 for it to work as it does through RSS or requisitions using the unit of measure default. So we have an enhancement that was submitted to resolve this issue, which we have in the chat. Please consider, voting for this and for this enhancement. Because if you have an item with multiple unit of measures where you have the stock unit measure set for not valid for buying and a different unit measure as the default for buying, you cannot use you won't be able to use the MSCM replenishment process. And you also do not have the ability to select different unit of measures on the handheld.
So vote, vote, vote. Casey pasted the chat in the chat. All you have to do is click on that, log into Concierge and say, we need this enhancement.
And that completes the inventory replenishment process using MSCM. Thank you so much for listening and viewing.
And Cynthia, we do have two hands up in the chat. Ryan, did you want to go first? It looks like you beat Melissa by a second there in raising your hand.
Sure, I can. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I think you obviously there at the end, that's the catcher I see in this as far as that unit of measure problem. So yes, happy to certainly vote for that enhancement request. My question then revolves around if on the item level, the default unit of measure is selected, does item location come into this at all where you can have like a default, source unit of measure also there at the item location? Do you know if that plays a part in this?
Unfortunately, not yet. That's really what we want, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all thinking the same way, Ryan. We really want it to be able to drive it there if we can, or have it work like if we went in and created a requisition through RSS or through requisitions for replenishment.
Right.
Sorry, Cynthia, I jumped right in there.
That is a great point too, Ryan. We did think about that. Now that you say that, I might go back into my ER and add that comment is that, why should it not follow the item location to expand on the unit of measure issue? We know we can set defaults at the item location, and that's what we want it to look at when we build item location records. So that is I'm glad you brought that up. I think I'm going to go back and just add that into the ER. See if I can slide that through too.
Sure. Yeah. I would say primarily we also rely more on the item itself, but I just know that the item location exists there. And once in a while that is leveraged. And I just know then it's caused us problems where, someone might think the item has the default there, but the item location record is different. So I was just curious if in any of this inventory replenishment through MSCM, is the item location actually considered at all, or is it just kind of bypassed?
It's bypassed right now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, thank you.
So vote, vote, vote. Excellent. And thank you. And really good points. And I believe we also have Melissa. So good to see you.
Hello, hello. Yeah, my question, and I could probably answer this myself if I could see that screen again, but as they're scanning, can they see what is currently already on order? And does the display also possibly show a delivery date that's expected for what is on order? So they would know, okay, I can move on from that item that's low because it's arriving, this afternoon or tomorrow. I don't need to reorder that.
So that's so for the quantity on order, that is a configuration decision. You can either, choose to show that they see it or they do not see it.
Great.
That's in configuration.
And are there label
the-
changes? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Melissa. I'm sorry.
Had a couple questions came up in my head. Are there label changes with this? Is there any like different information that would need to be on the label for the person scanning?
No,
No?
nope.
Okay,
The way you
good.
have it set up now would be okay.
And then my last question is, can you order more than what your replenishment reorder policy is for an item, like intentionally or unintentionally?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I think that was all my questions. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't see any other hands raised. Oh, wait, I'm lied. Apparently I'm lying to you. Jamie, you have a
Yeah.
question.
Yep. So as far as the quantity on order, that was a configuration thing. Would that also pertain to showing like what your on hands is on the handheld? Because I know like it's kind of in the same field as like a cycle count, so to say, but that way, you could see them before you order it. Like, let's say it, maybe should have triggered to order, like if you have a report that runs to order it and it didn't, you could see that your on hands were off, I guess. So that's why I was just curious.
That's a great question. I don't recall.
No. Money on order. No, I don't
So that's
see
not
that.
like a configuration or whatever that you could add in there or anything like that to show
Not
that?
not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
That's something to consider.
Sounds like
you
another
know.
great ER.
Yep.
Let us know. We'll all vote for it.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
I don't see any. Casey, am I missing any?
No, I just want to say something quickly is that this enhancement, kudos to the Infor, Lawson community out there now. Infor listened to this functionality, right? You guys have requested this between myself, Cynthia and Jerry. We've done many MSCM implementations. This always comes up with, okay, hey, how do I replenish my inventory with a handheld? It's like, oh, you can't.
Well,
Until the CU. So we are just really thankful that you guys asked for this and Infor delivered. So now that it is delivered, let's see how we can better improve.
Yep.
Yeah.
exactly. So very cool. And there were also questions that had been submitted prior to today's session. Cynthia, I do have those in front, so I'll go ahead and we can address. I'm actually going to go from the bottom up. So someone asked how this worked on the handheld. So if you're on the call, if you could give us a thumbs up, hopefully everybody has seen now how it would work on the handheld.
Yeah.
And there was also a question about what is new in MSCM since April. And shame on us, I should have, that was on me, that was my question, put together the information for you of what's changed. The important thing is that information is available. Online, we can go ahead and look at docs.infor.com and we can see what's out there. We'll go ahead and see if we can take a list of that, of what's new in MSCM since April. Casey, do you recall anything that's jumped out? Because most of it hit in April. It's mostly been just issue corrections since then, I think, except for a few enhancements. Do you
Correct.
recall?
No, it was just fixes to some other new functionality that was introduced by MSCM. I want to say like badge scanning, some fixes there. That's new if you guys haven't been introduced to that yet. And there's one more topic that they introduced in April, and I cannot remember, but there were some fixes to that. And I wish I remembered. Maybe if I do, I'll put it in the chat what it was.
Thank you, Casey.
Yeah. And the other two questions were surrounding best practice, and we could probably spend a whole session on automating inventory replenishment. That was one of them, and then implementing PAR locations. So what we'd like to do is we may go ahead and take a look and turn those into informative Friday sessions,
Yeah.
because I'm afraid that might just be a little bit a little bit longer than we have time. And I'm laughing because, of course, Casey remembers. She has an amazing memory. It was badge scanning and license plate delivery.
Ah.
So some cool information out there. Okay. Okay. And cluster picking. So if you haven't had a chance to see that, I know George loves that one.
Any other questions?
This is Jamie. Did you say, because I was like 10 minutes late to the meeting, maybe you guys already mentioned this earlier. Is this going live?
Is someone talking? Because I can't hear them.
Yeah, I can't either.
Sorry. Now can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. This is Jamie, and
Nice.
I was a few minutes late to the meeting, so maybe you mentioned it at the beginning. Is it going live this October with that release, or no, with this inventory replenishment being able to use the handheld?
The replenishment is available now.
For FSM or V11
Yeah.
or Cloud
Yes.
Suite, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
What version are you on, Jamie?
Let me look, because I know, like, on my handheld, when I go into mobile power and cycle counting, like you guys did, I don't have that inventory replenishment option on there. The
It
only
might
thing
be.
I just
Mhm.
have power count, cycle counting, and then it says status inquiry, and that's it.
It could be because you don't have the most updated OS versions, or, what version of handheld are you on?
Let me take a look here.
Okay.
I would just find that under settings, right?
Yes.
See here.
And while Jamie's checking, it's in, if you're on version 10, so S3 version 10 with mobile supply chain, it will be available to you in October of 2023. But if you're on FSM and have the latest APK files, the latest files on the device, APK if it's Android, you should have that functionality if you were given security access.
And that,
So,
yes.
yeah, Cynthia, because you mentioned that,
Yes,
that
the
may be
roles.
what's missing. Yep.
Okay, so when I go into mobile supply chain management and under settings, it says version 2023.08.00.5.
So that is the most current. So hey, Cynthia, do you mind going back, show the slide for the new group options, the new security roles that would need to be added to whatever
Yeah.
group that you're in, Jamie?
Okay.
Okay. We're going backwards here.
Yeah, let me find it. Because some are for your config. Here they are. So you have to, so for admin, they would probably have all these roles, but to use the handheld, they would have to have these roles as well.
Okay. So I'll probably have to go to Jeff. He's our IS guy for Infor. And basically our inventory specialist or whoever we would need to be able to do this would need these roles and that are on the screen.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. I'll meet with him and see what he can do. Okay.
Okay. And shoot us an email or something if you have questions. We'll be more than happy to assist.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Great questions, by the way. Okay.
Laura,
Do we
we're
turn it
getting
back
a
over to
lot of
Laura? Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of questions in the chat about the recording. The recording and URL, but then there's a new one about the license plate delivery and cluster picking. So I think Casey may answer that one, but sorry, Laura. And
Did you want me to go? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
The recording and that will all be sent out to everybody who attended, and it will be put on our YouTube channel. Is that the question?
Hey, Jerry,
Yes.
I would love to hear the answer about if a client is still on V9, will these updates work?
I fell off my chair. I didn't have a chance
Me
to
too,
respond.
but I just thought I'd throw it out there
Casey?
because it made me giggle.
Yeah, so I too
No.
am scared a little bit, but no, the functionality, to the best of my knowledge, will not be made available for anyone who is on V9. Again, V10 folks, don't worry, it's October of this year that you'll get it. And then Tanya also asked, I'm sorry, Cynthia, there's a question in the chat that we have not answered. Casey answered a ton of things. If you guys want to know about cluster picking, or if you want to know about license plate delivery, those answers are in the chat. But we did have a question from Tanya about, is there a recorded WebEx or presentation to show the setup and processing of those two features? So Casey has responded.
Okay, good.
So I think we don't have one. But
We don't at Nordic, but it's a great idea for us for new topics to do,
Yes.
which is awesome. I think I want to say when they do the little release training videos, they may have done one of these, but I can't remember
license
which one.
plate delivery. I'm
Was
pretty
it license
sure.
plate delivery? Okay, there we go.
I think so.
Those are 2 or 3 minute videos, so I think we could maybe expand on that and do a presentation just like this for the Infor community, if that's helpful to everybody.
Great questions again. Well, I hope everyone has enjoyed the presentation. Do we now turn it back over to Laura?
That's fine.
Oh, another question. I see another question.
Oh.
Mario?
Sorry, hit the wrong button.
Okay, okay. Any more questions?
Okay, well, thank you everyone for attending, and we will send the this recording out. And I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend.
Have a great day, everyone. Thank you again for attending.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.